Hi, I'm Kate Gleim, and I'd like to share with you how we create our gift box collections. We do have a video on how to prepare the box for these, so we're just going to start on how to fill them. One of our favorites to do is to create a collection of items that you can actually use as a vignette in your home when you give it to somebody. So they can take the materials that you put into it and place them all together in one location and have a beautiful little decoration, whether it be on the coffee table or a centerpiece for the dining table or the buffet, or they could break all the parts up and use them individually around the home. So to start this, you're going to work with a theme, and so for the one I'm going to demonstrate here, I started with this little Fanny Firefly because I think she's adorable and she's got a very defined look about her, so I tried to find materials and items that would work well with her. And then the next thing I look to is color, because typically when you're creating a vignette you're trying to coordinate it by theme and by color, and that's also one of the easiest ways to create any type of design, whether it's a floral design or a collection in a vignette. So she was our beginning, and I found these materials. We have a pretty little ceramic cross and a candle holder. I always like to have some texture in the design, so some type of florals that can add a little bit of color and texture to it. Any other sorts of accessories that might work well with it. And I typically look for a placemat or runner or chair tie, some fabric that will work well with what I'm doing. So I came up with this pretty placemat that's a kind of Ramie effect that seems to work well with her color and texturally. The next step is to always start with your biggest item where you're going to put her or it. And so I'll place her probably in the box like this. We read left to right, so your highest and largest item needs to go on the left-hand side and work your way across the box this direction. And then your other smaller pieces are just going to kind of set down into the design, and ideally you want each thing to show off as much as it can, so you'll use little risers under them to get them different heights. This cross hangs, so either a person would use this on a wall perhaps, or hang it on a doorknob, but they also in a vignette might put it on a little easel such as this, so they could actually stand it up in the display. So I thought that would work well to do this particular box with. To begin with then, I'll look and take a little bit of the styrofoam like we showed in our other video, breaking this into some smaller pieces that we can use in here as risers for our items. She's so adorable, and she has her little legs here. If she sits down too far, they're going to get covered up where you can't see them. So I think it would be good for her in the box to put her on a little bit of a riser so we can see her better, and so she'll sit like this. You're also going to want to decide whether or not you want to leave the tags on. I typically do. It lets them know that it's a new item, and also if they'd like to know what the manufacturer is, they'd be able to get other pieces in the collection. Of course, you might be doing something where it's gently used things or collectibles that aren't going to have tags, so it really depends on the theme of your box and how you're doing your creation. So we've got our pieces of styrofoam in there and a rough idea of how we want to place it. I next use what I'm going to use to fill the box. So that could be tissue paper, cellophane. Of course, as I mentioned, I love the die-cut honeycomb paper, and we're going to use that in here. I think it works beautifully with the texture of her. And so we'll just set this in there so it covers up the styrofoam. Kind of cut the edge of the box with it so it has a random look and takes away from just the stark edge of that, like so. We can put her in. And now our little legs are up where we can see them. And we'll put our placemat in here. And again, this can be worked into the design any way that suits the box that you're doing and the materials that you're choosing to put in there. So that's how tall that is. We're going to need to decide if that's the right height. You don't want things to be able to fall out of the box. So it may be that we want to remove one of those layers of styrofoam in there, but time will tell as we kind of play with this. I found this kind of very fun mug that works beautifully with her, and these moss balls that had a great texture to work with her in color as well. I thought, well, this could be fun to just add a little bit of that die-cut paper, and we'll put that in the box like so. And then we can put our moss ball right in the top of that. It just adds a little texture and it's kind of a fun sort of look for our vignette. And it can set in there. And we need our moss ball maybe on this corner because it's a good size and weight. And I think we're going to definitely want to take that out. Kind of makes a fun fan in here. And our texture can come in here down to the front side like so, kind of tipped out a little bit so that as you look at the front of the box you can see into that and our texture. This is a pretty little candle holder that again coordinates with this look. And as I said with this one, always fun when you can see the materials better. So using this on its side will be kind of fun. And we've got this easel in here. And this is where you'll decide, either you'll put your easel in individually and you could set your cross in like so. And then they could set their cross on there. Or you could choose to come in here and perhaps put this in the box, at which point you're going to want to make sure that your styrofoam and materials are sitting over the top of it so it can't flip out of the box. There's no exact method to these. You just kind of work with the materials as you have them, and each box is going to be a little bit different. So truly, I think of it kind of like a puzzle that doesn't have a picture. You start playing with all the pieces, and eventually the puzzle's going to come together. It just is going to take perhaps a little bit of trial and error. And we want our candle to go in, and this can just kind of set into the design anywhere that seems suitable there for them when they put their candle holder up. And of course we have this little girl to coordinate in here as well to go with our nest. And you can use one or not. I typically put a bow on them because it kind of makes them look a little bit more like a package. I will tie them off with some ribbon that coordinates with it, or the same ribbon. And using strapping tape, because it holds much better than Scotch tape does, you can then take the strapping tape, tape those two little streamers like so, and that's going to go on the inside of your box. So we'll tape this to the box here, and then your little moss ball can go back in there, and fluff out your bow, pull the streamers through, and you have a pretty package decoration that's all ready to be gifted to somebody. So we've done a couple other ones for you to look at, just to give you some other ideas. We have this one with the frog. That's kind of a gardeny effect, so a candle and flowers. Candles are always wonderful for the light that they provide and look great in vignettes. And this one is a bit more contemporary, very brightly colored. Has a lot of fun going on in it with some candles and little votives, diffuser for some fragrance. So this is almost where you'd have a fragrance could be your theme. And then of course the bright colors that played off of this placemat. So this is where we started with our color theme, was with this, and played with it. The last thing I like to do in gift boxes, if you can put some little thing in there that has a saying on it that maybe helps express the message that you wanted to share with the person that you're giving the box to. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you soon.